Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and today's video is going to be about external frame backpacks and why I think an external frame backpack is a better choice than, say, an internal frame. And that's not to say that internal frames are bad or anything. They are perfectly fine, but I just feel that an external frame gives you more options on where to put your stuff. And of course that also depends on the size and all that. So I've went backpacking on several occasions. I've backpacked on two different mountain chains, the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains, and I also backpacked on several trails on the scout ranches in my area when I was in the Boy Scouts. But every time I went backpacking, I used an external frame pack. And I didn't always use this one. When I first started out, I used an older, I think it was an LL Bean backpack. It was blue, but it was also an external frame. And then eventually I got this one. I think I only used this one on two different occasions. One was the Rocky Mountains, but it's served me well so far, and I'll do another video later on how I actually pack this. This is just empty right now, but there is a specific way that I pack this. I'll put a water bottle here, I'll put a water bottle here, a survival kit thing in here, not like an actual survival kit, but just something I put together. I'll put the food down here, water, more water up here, clothes, that kind of stuff. But the reason I think that an external frame backpack is a good choice is because the frame gives you the option to strap things to it. So when I backpacked, I always put my sleeping pad up here. It's just a foam sleeping pad. I'll show that in another video. I strapped it up here with these little straps that I picked up at Walmart. They actually, when they first came, when I first bought them, they were much longer than this. And what I actually did was I bought 4 straps, and then I cut the webbing down to the length that I needed, and then I took the remaining webbing and made 4 extra straps with it, with these buckles here that I also got from Walmart. I think all this stuff was Ozark Trail. No, Outdoor Products. You probably can't see that, but the straps and the clips all came from Outdoor Products, which is, I guess, it's kind of a Walmart brand of outdoor stuff. I don't know. But the longer ones here are for my sleeping bag, and I have 2 different sleeping bags that I've used for backpacking. One of them is a mummy bag, and the other one is just kind of a fleece bag for average temperatures. And the mummy bag, I think, goes down to 20 degrees, and they both work great, but I always put them down here and strap them to these 2 bottom bars. I have 3 straps down here, and then I have 2 of the smaller straps for the foam sleeping pad. So that works pretty well. And this little pouch here is for maps. So if you ever need to look at the map, you can have somebody open it up. Which, by the way, I never recommend backpacking by yourself. I have a video on that as well. And then you open it up here. We'll just flip this over. And you have one really big pouch here. You you can fit quite a bit of stuff in. I have a waterproof box that fits in here just fine, and I have room for a little bit more extra stuff too. But I keep several things in that waterproof box that I'll go through that one day and show you. So that's that big pouch. Of course, it also has a handle here, and of course it has 4 pouches on the side. This one here, I keep shoelaces from old shoes, because you never know when you might need a little extra string. Back when I first started backpacking, I actually used shoelaces to strap my stuff to the pack. That was with the other pack that I had, and I even actually used one of my shoelaces to strap something onto this pack. I think it was just to kind of stabilize it, not necessarily to actually strap it on. But what I did was I strapped it around my pad up here, and it came down to, I think it was here, and it just kind of stabilized everything from shifting side to side. So always a good idea to have a little extra string with you, and shoestring works great. Of course, I have these little carabiners here. It's really just to keep the zippers from coming undone. So like, you just hook the carabiner around both of them, and if you ever get snagged on something, it's not gonna fully open up. I mean, this is about as far open as it'll get, but it lessens your chances for losing anything. I have it on this one here. This is where I put an extra water bottle. I put a small, I put a half quart water bottle here, and I put a full quart water bottle here. And like I said, I'll show you exactly how I pack this. And then I have another one of those carabiners over here. This one's actually copper tone. It's one from one of those little bitty sunblock things, but it also has these 2 extra pins on it, and these actually came with the backpack. They're just basically these pins that hold the backpack together, to the frame, and these sometimes they'll break or they'll loosen themselves off, and you'll have to put extra ones on there. So always a good idea to carry a couple extra of these. You might even want to try finding yourself some more other than the ones that come with it, because chances are, if you backpack a lot, you're going to use these several times. I've used them before, not on this backpack, but the other backpack. And let me tell you, if you break one of those pins when you're out on the trail and you don't have an extra one, that's not going to be fun at all. So always something that I recommend. And of course, I don't have a carabiner on this one, but I'll get one eventually. And this is where I put like some granola bars or something, some snacks. This pouch here, and again, I don't have the all the gear that I carried, because a lot of it was actually troop gear. So I actually don't have all the gear that I would necessarily need to go backpacking as of right now, but I'll get some later on. I hope to get back into the backpacking world after I graduate college. I've got 2 years left of college, a little over 2 years left of college to get through, but then I hope to get back into the backpacking world. And of course I'll need extra gear, but this is where a lot of times I would put my food, or at least the food that I carried, and then cooking ware and all that would fit in here. So that's what that pouch was for. And of course you have the big pouch, which has a drawstring on it right here to keep everything closed up. And this is where I would put basically everything else. So my clothes, my if I carried the stove, I put the stove in here. I put the fuel in here. And by the way, I don't just put everything just in the pack. I line the inside of the pack with a trash bag, and I put everything that I don't want to get wet in a trash bag, or if I don't want to get, fuel on it, I'll put it in the trash bag, and then I'll put a trash bag over the top of that to seal off the top. And then anything else, like my water bottles, I'll put on the outside. The fuel, I'll put on the outside. Basically the stuff that I'm not too concerned about getting wet, I'll put on the outside of the trash bags. And that's a pretty good system, because when we've come across rivers and stuff, you have to find a way to get across, and occasionally somebody will fall in the river, and when you fall in the river, all your stuff's going to get wet. So you want to have as much waterproofing as you can have. And that works for the rain too. But again, with the rain, if you refer back to another one of my videos, I talk about having a rain shield for your backpack, whether it's actual rain shield that you can buy, or if it's just a trash bag. Anything is better than nothing. Anyway, how long is this video? Okay, getting a little carried away on time here. But anyway, I recommend external frame backpacks. Internal frames are good as well. It really just depends on what exactly you're doing. Again, it depends on how big the backpack is, because you can still fit quite a bit of stuff in an internal frame, but everything's going to be inside, or most everything's going to be inside, whereas this, you can have most of your stuff inside, but you can have big items on the outside, not taking up room on the inside, which is good to have. And again, I'll go over how exactly I pack this in another video. I'll show you, well, whatever I have, I'll put in this, and I'll also go over gear that I acquire over time. But this is the backpack I use, and this is the backpack I plan to use for a while. I might get a bigger one. It depends on the gear that I take with me, and all the gear that I get. By the way, just for size reference, this one is, you see here, it says 3950. That's 3,950 cubic inches. And that's how much space this backpack has. I've seen it all the way up to like 5,500 cubic inches. And those are some pretty big backpacks. I'm not a very big guy, so this is about the size that I would want to have. And again, you never want to go alone, so when you go with 1, 2, 3 other people, you can distribute who gets what, and it makes it a whole lot easier than just going by yourself. So anyway, that's just my philosophy on the external frame backpack. I'll probably always go with external frame backpacks. My girlfriend really wants to start backpacking when she gets out of college as well, and she's going to need a backpack. She doesn't really have any gear. I have some gear, but I still don't have everything. But she definitely needs a backpack, and I'm going to recommend to her that she gets an external frame backpack. And who knows, if we're still together, by the time we're out of college, maybe we can go backpacking together. But that's a couple years into the future, and we'll have to see what happens. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the external frame backpack. Again, I'll do more videos on this in the future, but this is just the first one. So subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm RedneckMini14, and until next time, be safe.